I feel like there's definitely something about these Juul pods where the kids come in, they start freaking out if we don't have the flavor that they want, if we're out of the starter kits. There's definitely something about these Juul pods, and I don't know for sure what it is.
Most of these electronic cigarettes have nicotine products in them. This is not a regulated industry. My name's Christina Hitz. I'm a public health educator with the Lancaster County Health Department. I really want to talk about why electronic cigarettes are something you need to be concerned about. Electronic cigarettes are not just harmless water vapor. They have a lot of different products in them that, albeit not fully tested, could be hazardous. For example, propylene glycol. Of an e-juice refill, if 80 to 90% of that e-juice refill is propylene glycol. Well, we know that the FDA has approved propylene glycol for ingestion, but it has not been approved as being safe for inhalation. We are also concerned that there are different dyes and chemicals in the flavorings, and we don't know the long-term effects of ingesting those. We're also concerned about metal particulates that are in the vapor, because as someone uses the electronic cigarette, the aerosolizer inside of it has a job of making that vapor, and it heats up. And as it heats up and makes that vapor, it's causing those little tiny fine particulates to come off the aerosolizer itself and into that vapor, and it's inhaled then into the user's lungs. And we have no idea what the long-term effects are of that on someone's health either. In addition, we're very concerned that most of these products do contain nicotine, and nicotine is a concern for pregnant women. And we also know that nicotine affects the developing brains of adolescents. And so it is recommended that adolescents and pregnant women not use any kind of nicotine products. This industry could say, I am giving you a 0% nicotine product, and in fact it could have a trace, and probably does have a trace, of nicotine in them. And because of that trace of nicotine that's likely in even a 0% labeled product, it could cause then, of course, future nicotine addiction. You really need to be knowledgeable and aware that electronic cigarettes have all these potentially hazardous ingredients in them. So we know from the 2015 YRBS that our youth in Lincoln Lancaster County are actually using electronic cigarettes at double the rate that they're using combustible cigarettes. There's a wide range of electronic cigarettes that you should be aware of, from looking like an ink pen to large mod tank containers, back down to small devices. And in fact, this is a device that is very small. It looks like an electronic USB drive and is one of the most popular new products. There are 46% of the sales made at convenience stores related to electronic cigarettes are Juul sales. And so because of that wild popularity, we know that this is the biggest threat right now to our kids possibly using vapor products. This is actually the Juul, and you can see that it looks like a USB drive. It plugs into the computer to recharge it through a USB port and looks like that. And this little tiny cartridge with this viscous kind of oily liquid in there is what actually contains the e-juice, and this is a 5% strength nicotine. Just this little tiny amount of e-juice has the same amount of nicotine in it as a pack of cigarettes. And unfortunately, we know that some of our youth are using 2 of these a day. So because these Juuls are so small, they're easy for youth to conceal either at home or at school. And some likely spots for concealment are pockets, waistbands, socks, inside of a hollowed out highlighter. So it's important to be aware of where these items might be hidden. Youth who are using electronic cigarettes might do certain behaviors that you can spot. And so if you know to watch for this kind of behavior where they might be blowing vapor down into their shirt, be aware of the flavors and the smells of those flavors. So if there's frequent use of a bathroom with a frequent smell of flavoring, that would be a hint. In addition, you can see kids holding their breath sometimes, and what they're doing is they're trying to zero out that vapor in their lungs before they exhale, so that not as much, if any, vapor comes out. Be aware of what packages they're getting and whether or not those packages have anything to do with electronic cigarettes. It is a gateway. Youth who use electronic cigarettes are 7 times more likely to end up using a combustible tobacco product within a year. Parents and adults who work with youth, it's really important that you have the conversation with your children. Let them know that it's important not to follow this trend. It's important for them to make good decisions now, and that if they make the decision to use it now, it could lead to lifelong consequences through a nicotine addiction that they wouldn't have otherwise had.